Hello, in this video I'm going to be introducing you to an alternative formula to calculate the standard deviation, and depending on the question or the data we've been given, this might be more useful. So it's quite a short video, but if it is useful, please do like and subscribe. So to find this alternative formula for the standard deviation, we're going to start off with a formula that we know, which is our formula for the variance, and rearrange it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is expand this bracket which is inside of my summation. So summation is this symbol here, it just means we're adding everything up inside of it. So let's expand that bracket and we're going to get the sum of x squared minus 2 lots of x multiplied by the mean plus the mean squared. And that is all going to be divided by n. Okay. Now we're going to split up the numerator, and the way we do this is by, well, if we have the sum of multiple things added together, exactly like we do here, well, we can split it up into the sum of x squareds minus the sum of 2 lots of x times the mean, and so on. So let's split it up like that. So now I've got the sum of x squareds minus the sum of 2 lots of x times the mean plus the sum of x bar squared, all divided by n. Okay, now from here I'm going to write this as 3 different fractions. So I've got the sum of x squared over n minus the sum of 2 lots of x times the mean, all divided by n, plus the sum of the mean squared over n. Okay. Now to get a bit further, I'm going to have to introduce us to a new idea, which is if we have a constant inside of our sum, then we can pull it out to the front. And an example of this would be, say we were doing the sum from n being 1 to 3. Now don't worry too much about this, this might just hopefully give us a bit more understanding. So I'm summing from n is 1 to 3 of 2 times xn. Well, this means I just do what happens when n is 1. Well, that's 2 times x1 plus what happens when n is 2, so 2 times x2, plus what happens when n is 3, so plus 2 lots of x3, which I could write as 2 lots of x1 plus x2 plus x3. And so this is the same as 2 lots of the sum from n being 1 to 3 of xn. You can see we've pulled out the constant from the sum. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pull out a factor of 2 and the mean from that sum. Okay, so let's do that. So now I have, let me get rid of that highlight, I now have the sum of x squared over n minus 2 times the mean multiplied by the sum of x over n. And again, the mean squared is just a constant. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out to the front. So now I've got plus the mean squared multiplied by the sum of 1 over n. Okay, and now we might be a bit confused because what is the sum of 1? Well, let's look at another example. Say I'm summing 1 from n equals 1 to say 3. Well, all this means is I just add 1 3 times. So I do 1 plus 1 plus 1, and I get 3. So it's just equal to my upper sum, my upper bound of the sum. Okay, and so for this example, what is the upper bound of my sum? Well, we're summing n things, aren't we? Because there are n numbers in my list of data. So I'm going to sum 1 together n times, and that's just n. So let's now write down the next line. So now we've got the sum of x squareds divided by n minus 2 times the mean multiplied by the sum of x over n plus the mean squared multiplied by n over n. Okay, so let's see what we can do from here. Well, the first term is going to stay as the sum of x squareds over n minus 2 times the mean. Well, what is this term here? What is the sum of x divided by n? Well, that is just the mean, isn't it? The sum of all of our data values divided by how many we have is just the mean. So let me write in the mean. So it's 2 times the mean multiplied by the mean. So it's 2 times the mean squared plus the mean squared times by n over n, which is 1. So that stays like that. And so now we get it's the sum of x squareds over n minus, well, 2 times the mean squared plus the mean squared is just minus the mean squared. Okay, so this here is our variance, and remember, to find the standard deviation we square root this, and so our standard deviation is equal to the square root of the sum of x squareds divided by n minus the mean squared. Okay, and this is an alternative formula that we can use to calculate the standard deviation. So hopefully this video was useful. If it was, please do like and subscribe, and go over to my channel where I have tons of other maths tutorials. Thanks for watching.